99.7 FM. This and every Tuesday. Sorry, we used to do it on Tuesdays. Sunday 2:05, we come alive by His grace. Yeah, happy new month to each and every one of you. And I'm sure December will bring out the best in you. Let's take this and come back.
Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM.
You know the name, right? E-F-Y-A. When the morning sun sweeps across my room as I waken from another dream of you.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Giving me a kiss, say honey. Play me a song, simple melody. Maybe something will say, although baby. Wait, you came along when I was nobody.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And show me how to be somebody. Hey, baby, hold back, she fell. Oh, I go die with you. Get bad boy. Feel so bad, oh, my love. You bring out the best in me. You bring out the best in me. You bring out the best in me. With a touch of your hand, you bring out the best in me. Gotta let them know you're my man. You bring out the best in me. 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 With a single touch of your hand, you bring out the best in me. Gotta let them know you're my man.
Joy 99.7 FM.
So every second, every minute, every hour, you say the things that only make me stronger. You give me the strength to accept the things I cannot change. Why me din the trade? Intentionality, I'm a different move. Baby, I'm not here, now you're true. Who should make friends say, go cry?
Joy 99.7 FM.
Then show me how to be somebody. Oh, now here, baby, hold back, she fell. I go die with you, get bad boy. Feel so obvious, so my love.
That's right, you're in the right place at the right time. That is 99.7 FM. My name is Nortey by nature. In the background, we've got Afia. I know you'll agree, huh? You've got to be in the best of shape. And that will definitely bring out the best in you. Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. Coming up on the 3rd of December is International Day of Persons with Disability. Today we're looking at awareness, opportunities, inclusion. Yeah, let's look at the definitions, the terminology, the statistics. The wonderful achievements of persons. I just like to call everybody a person. What about you? But some of these distinctions, categorizations, classifications, and indeed policies and laws are very important to give each and every one of us a level playing ground. So today we're looking at the things we need to know as we step up to mark the International Day of Persons with Disability. I have with me in the studio Dr. Peter Inda. He's an occupational therapist and head of the Department of Occupational Therapy, University of Ghana. He's also the acting director for the Center of Disability Studies and Advocacy of the University of Ghana. Next to him, I have a pretty lady, Princess Mensah. Yeah, she's a graduate of the UG. She's done a course in education in leadership and social work. She's an immediate past president of the Campus Association of Students with Special Needs. She has special needs and she'll be sharing that with you. If you want to share with us WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. And as you know the drill, I will activate the phone line shortly. Doc and Princess, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Nortey by nature. That's it.
Naughty by nature. That's
Nortey
right.
by nature.
You got it right. You didn't say naughty.
Yeah, no.
Princess, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you here. I used to be a student leader, and hearing that you are a past president of Campus Association of Students with Special Needs. Am I getting it right?
The past vice president.
Past vice president.
Yes.
You are still a leader. I love women leaders, even though the Americans don't agree with me. They didn't give it to they didn't give it to Madame. But great to have you in the studio. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine, and having the privilege to be here and share my insight on disability inclusion with my lived experience, it's highly an honor for me.
Right. We're honored to have you. Now, I've introduced you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to share a bit about yourself. Just tell us a bit about yourself without me asking you. I mean, tell us a bit about Princess. Is your mother a queen?
Of course she is.
Yep. Every mother is a queen.
Yeah, sure.
But tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Princess Mensah. My local name is Ama.
Okay.
I was actually born with disability, that is visual impairment.
Visual impairment.
Yes,
okay.
please. According to doctors, I have a scar at the back of my lens which prevents object to actually get to the brain.
Okay.
It means my brain is not able to access the information to tell me what the object really is.
Okay.
And that has caused me not to see.
Okay.
Initially, I was seeing a bit better where I can move about on my own, but currently it's off. So I started my early childhood
Slow
development.
down a bit for us. Slow down for my listeners. When you say currently is off, and you honored us by saying you're privileged and honored to share your lived experience. So this is not textbook stuff. This is you. This is your life. So when you say previously you could see a bit despite this impairment or condition that the doctors have told you about, and then you say now it's off. Can you share what do you mean by it's off? Are you
Okay.
unable to see totally?
Yes, so I mean initially it was partial blindness.
Okay.
But now it's totally blind. Yeah.
Right.
Now I can't see at all. I can't move about, especially in an environment where I'm not
Familiar,
used to.
right.
Familiar, yes.
Okay.
But should I stay in a place for a while, I'm able to go about my duties on my own.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. I guess listeners, you're wondering then, so what? She went to University of Ghana, she's a student leader, she's finished a course, and so on and so forth, and she's telling you here. So even getting into the studio presents some novel challenges. She's here. That's why I'm so honored to have her, and I want her to share a bit about herself before we go into terminologies and statistics as if they don't associate or link up with live, real human beings. So Princess, continue. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yes, so I started my early childhood development school at Tete Memorial, that's Tema, and then through to Onyinku Drive 1 Primary School at Tema Community 17, where my sight started deteriorating gradually. Let me say rapidly instead.
Okay.
So it became tough for me to be in the same classroom as my mates. So I have to stay in the house for some years. And
So that means initially you started in mainstream, what I'll call
exactly
normal school,
exactly
despite your visual
impairment.
challenges.
Yes,
Right.
please,
Okay.
yes. But after some time, when I got to basic 3, it was so bad that I couldn't write anything at all.
Okay.
I wasn't participating in class, even though I could answer questions and memorize things, but the practical aspects
Joy
of being a student
99.7
wasn't
FM.
there.
Right.
So I came to be in the house for some time. Hopes were lost. So later, a doctor recommended school for the blind, a coupon,
Right.
to my parents. and my mom took the initiative to take me to Ekopon School for the Blind,
Yep.
where I have to start all over again. Start from class 1. At the time, I was 12 years. I understand that when I went to Ekopon School for the Blind, I was told I have to learn the Braille.
Okay.
And even though I was 12 years, because I don't know the Braille, I have to go back to class 1 and learn it.
Okay.
It was a big challenge for me. At that time, my mates were in like JHS 1,
Okay.
almost preparing to take their basic education certificate examination, and there I was at the School for the Blind, starting all over from class 1.
So you had to learn Braille,
Yes.
right? Folks, I'm sure we'll explain that, but Braille is actually the tactile system of reading, okay?
Yes.
And you've got to learn that with your fingers and know all the characters and so on and so forth. What Princess is sharing is that she started in normal school despite her visual impairment. As it deteriorated, she had to leave school around, what did you say? Was it basic class 3?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Okay. Spend some time at home. Then it was recommended that she go to the Akropong School for the Blind, and she had to restart all over. But that also meant learning and equipping herself with Braille. Okay. So yeah, Princess, continue.
Yes, so I just motivated myself. Initially, it wasn't easy for me.
And
to
this is boarding,
start.
right?
Yes.
This is boarding school.
Yes,
Yeah.
a boarding school,
Mhm.
and that also posed a significant
I can imagine.
mental and emotional stress
Wow.
to my well-being, because not moving from home to stay where mom is not there, where I'm so used to her and all that, it wasn't easy. I don't want to get emotional, but remembering those days, it wasn't an easy thing as a child as I am.
Right.
But I encouraged myself, and amazingly, after the my first year at School for the Blind, I was promoted to class 3, which means that I skipped the class 2. And after
Wow.
class 3, I was re-promoted to class 5.
Is it because they liked your name, your face, or you were actually doing well? You were excelling. Despite your turbulent journey,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
having to repeat, you got in there and you started skipping and hopping steps
Exactly.
based on merit.
Yes, please.
Wow.
Yes. So when I got to Form 2, I became the head girls prefect for Ekopon School for the Blind.
Head
Eh.
girls prefect.
Yes.
Not only did you skip and jump, after
Yes,
resetting,
please.
you became head girl prefect.
Yes.
Wow.
Please. So after that, and I must also highlight that when I was in School for the Blind, I was a national speller for the school and for Ghana.
Oh, come on.
As well, for Young Educators Foundation, they used to organize the spelling bee where I was part, and
Wow.
I've been on the spelling bee panel. I've been a national speller for 3 consecutive years.
Whoa.
Just that unfortunately I wasn't able to move to become the international speller.
Whoa.
Yes.
Jeez, you say that so calmly. I'm just overwhelmed just looking at you. So, this is your journey, and we haven't finished yet. We haven't even gotten to University of Ghana and all that yet. Okay, because after Kropong School, you then went to what? Okwapiman?
Yes, please. I went to Kwapiman.
Don't tell me you were a
Senior
prefect there.
High. No, I wasn't.
Okay, so you've completed the School for the Blind, right?
Yes, please.
And
I
then you
have.
moved where?
I moved to Okwapiman, where I took my secondary education, or my senior high
Okay.
education. So after Okwapiman, I passed my WASI,
Mm-hmm.
yes, with grade 12, and then I moved to University of Ghana to read education and social work as my bachelor's degree.
Wow. Hang on a sec. So, when you went into the School for the Blind, your mates were then where?
My mates were in Form 1.
They were in
then.
Form 1.
Yes, please.
Okay, and you started all over again.
Yes.
Okay,
please.
so after skipping and hopping and jumping and dancing and excelling, did you catch up with them?
Yes, I catch up with some of them.
Right.
Those that completed SHS and have to wait
Mm-hmm.
until sometime before they continue with the tertiary education.
Okay.
And some also completed before me.
Mhm.
Some started working, some started doing their service and all that. Yeah,
Right.
so it's just like when we got to after SHS,
Mhm.
we became mixed of levels,
Okay.
which I also found myself. So, and some are currently in school.
Right.
Yes, I know some that are currently at the tertiary
99.7 FM.
level.
Princess, I'm breathless. I'm out of breath, but I'll let you take a breather. Listeners, you're listening to Princess Mensa. She's a person living with, let me call it, visual disability. I'll be corrected if I use any wrong terminologies, right? That's why we're doing this on the heels. In fact, before December 3rd, which is International Day of Persons with Disabilities, I've got in the studio alongside her Dr. Peter Inda. He's an occupational therapist, head of the Department of Occupational Therapy at the University of Ghana, and the acting director for the Center for Disability Studies at the University. Doc, this is amazing. Right, and what a way to start a program like this. It makes me feel all, lazy, kind of, because I don't have a visual impairment. I've had some bumps and turbulence, but this is. How does this make you feel, especially as we look forward to celebrating or observing this day?
Yeah, thank you, Nortey. I think I've mentioned it.
Yes, it's all right.
Yes, I've mentioned it. Yeah, I think as we look forward for this celebration, some of these things that you are doing now, even hosting us here, I think we should say we're very privileged, just like Princess
we are just honored.
said, because this is a time for us to tell the world about disability, help in this advocacy, and also let people know what this whole disability issue is. And for that matter, if you are said to be disabled, you still have a lot to do. Like Princess just said,
Right.
even she has completed some of her mates, colleagues that even went ahead of her are still in the tertiary
Right.
institution. So
Okay.
you can see being labeled as disabled.
There's nothing holding her back.
Yes, nothing is holding.
Perhaps
and nothing,
maybe us and our own discrimination and
that
stigma.
is right. If there is anything to hold somebody back,
Whoa.
then it is the society, And I think Princess has just said a lot that I even wanted to say.
Right. Let me, just try and read a bit of the stuff I pulled up. Okay.
Yeah.
2021, I think it is. Statistical Service report suggests or indicates that approximately 8% of the Ghanaian population experience some form of disability. All right, with a higher prevalence amongst females than males, and the disabilities are more common in rural areas compared to urban areas. And among the 6 domains of disability, difficulty or visual difficulties are the most widespread, affecting about 4% of the population, whilst difficulty communicating is the least common, affecting about 1%. Reading globally, I hear that, or I read that about 15% of the world population can be classified as living with disability. This translates to about 1 in 7 persons globally, right? But what's the picture for Ghana? I've tried to give it. Is it the same? This is the 2021 Statistical Service report.
Yeah, I mean, with Ghana, I think
About 8% is about 2.1 million persons. But then again, depending on how you teach us to define it, then we'll probably understand it better.
That's fine. So let's look at what is disability, and I'll just take it from the WHO
Okay.
definition. And WHO is saying this is broadly defined as a physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairment
Okay.
that in interaction with various barriers may hinder an individual's full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others.
Okay. So, whatever challenge you have
Yeah,
can be physical, intellectual, or call it cognitive,
that's it.
right? But whatever you have must interact with the environment in such a way that it compromises, affects, impairs your ability to participate and should I say attain
That's
your
right.
God-given potential.
That's right.
Wow.
So if you're talking about disability, then you're also talking about the environment.
Right.
And if we are talking about environment, I think we should know we have the physical and also we have the social aspect.
Right.
Even people's receptive of whoever they say is disabled
Right.
also has a very serious
99.7
contributory
FM.
factor when we're talking about disability here.
Okay.
If you, I don't know whether you have other things.
Well,
if I
okay.
can
I'm just
go on.
Yeah. I mean, so we understand this broad classification
Yes.
of persons with disability, right?
Right.
Though most people tend to be familiar with and focus more on physical disability, it's a broad range. So when we're talking about this, and when I know we passed our act in is it 2006?
2006.
Act
Yes.
715, right?
715.
Right. We have
You
a
seem to know.
well, I have to make sure I'm not disabled in this
Yes.
discussion for the benefit of my listeners. So we've got laws that cut across all these domains.
Yes.
Right. So anybody who is afflicted in the ways you've just defined comes under this umbrella.
That's right.
Okay. And we need to be mindful of the environment, including the social, cultural environment that
Absolutely.
also may act or serve as an impediment, a barrier, an interference, or whatever to persons under this umbrella. Wow. Okay. That's a lot to chew on, right? So if the numbers are right or close to right, we have a significant segment of our population that fall under this umbrella.
That's right.
And I've been reading, of course I know, but I've been reading and understanding this whole thing as an issue of human rights and not just a health or a developmental issue. Am I right?
You are right. You are very, very right. It's a human right issue.
Okay.
But even before I go into that bit,
Okay.
We just talked about definition.
Right.
And I'm sure people have gathered what it is now. But like you said, we always, most of the time, talk about the physical aspect.
Right.
But there are so many forms
Okay.
of disability.
Okay.
That's the types.
Right. Let's share them.
Yes, and if we talk about physical disability, it is, should I say, impairments affecting things like mobility,
All right.
dexterity, and also some physical functioning.
Okay.
All right, and I can give an example like, let's say, muscular dystrophy or cerebral palsy,
Okay.
or somebody who has had a paralysis
Okay.
that you can see. This is what we term the physical. And we also have the sensory
Sensory disability.
sensory disabilities. And this impairments to the senses like sight, hearing, touch, all these are forms of disability. And the examples could be, let's say, blindness, like hearing loss, and sensory processing disorders. These are all forms of sensory disability.
Right.
And we also have intellectual disabilities.
99.7
We have about 7 or 6 of them.
Intellectual
And, yes,
disabilities. Right.
Intellectual disability also is this form of limitation in intellectual functioning and behaviors.
Okay.
And we can have examples like the Down syndrome and people with severe cognitive delays.
Okay.
They can also be classified under that.
Right.
And we have mental health
Right.
disability. Mental health also falls under this disability thing
that's
we
right.
are talking about. And when we talk about autism spectrum disorder, we're talking about attention deficits and disorders, dyslexia. These are all forms of what I just mentioned will fall under neurodevelopmental. But mental health, as we know,
Right.
depression and anxiety and those things. Yes, and we also have some chronic illnesses that also falls under disability, because if you remember what how we defined it, anything that will disrupt your your ability to function,
Right.
as you want to or you want to do, these things can be classified under disability. And that's why we have some forms of chronic illnesses like diabetes, epilepsy, some multiple sclerosis. They all can come under chronic illness. And we also have learning disabilities.
Right.
Yes, that one too is there. It's that specific challenges, in learning processes that are unrelated to this. Mind you, these are unrelated to intelligence.
Intelligence, that's right.
Yes.
So you have a specific, for example, dyslexia.
That's right.
Right, and
that's
many of the others.
Dyslexia,
Right.
dyscalculia,
and all those.
things.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with.
It doesn't mean the person has subnormal.
That's right.
Intelligence.
That's
okay.
right.
Right.
And then, last but not the least, I'll talk about communication disorders. And these ones are the affairs. They are speech impairments and stuttering. They
Disfluencies.
That's right. They all fall under
stuttering. Some like to say stammering.
Stammering.
Right, but we call it disfluency.
That's right.
Childhood disfluency.
That's right.
Disorder.
These also. So these are the types of disability we can talk about.
Folks, if you've just joined us, it's 34 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. The program, as always, on a Sunday afternoon is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. With me, Nortey by nature. I'm in the studio, you just heard speaking, Dr. Peter Inda. He's an occupational therapist. He's the head of the OT department of the University of Ghana and acting director of the Center for Disability Studies and Advocacy. Right? We're doing this in preparation in advance of December 3rd, which is International Day of Persons with Disability. We're looking at creating more awareness. We're looking at the opportunities, some of the, should I say, pivotal milestones, the laws we've passed that, should I say, improve and facilitate access and inclusion and participation for persons with disabilities. And then, of course, we'll look at the strategies we need to, should I say, undertake and engage to, smoothen the path for mainstream inclusion. So you heard Princess earlier on. She says now she's totally visually impaired. She had a progressive deterioration of her vision, had to jump out of, should I say, primary school. She went to the Ekropong School for the Blind, where she had to learn Braille. And after learning that, she whizzed past all the people, hop, skipped, and jumped, became head girls prefect, and she moved on to Okwapiman Secondary for her SHS, after which she went to the University of Ghana and did a course in, what's your course again, Princess?
Education and social work.
Education and social work.
Yes.
But there's a part in there that is about leadership as well. Oh?
Yes, it comes with education. So education in leadership.
In leadership.
Yes. So if I should explain clearly,
please do.
I took education course though, but it's not like teaching.
All right.
I didn't go through the training, the teaching training college, but then I took the education in leadership. That is where I'm able to work with GES, WAEC, and all other educational institutions as a leader.
Right.
Yes.
You're leading right now because I'm just looking at you because I was in University of Ghana and I know the terrain, right? Even though there are new halls and new places and spaces and all that. What's it like for you as a visually impaired person, and considering the degree of impairment that you shared with us, what was University of Ghana like? Were you resident on campus?
Yes, of course. I was a resident of Ikuafo Hall.
Okay.
Yes, and I also became the first deputy for the Ikuafo Hall Special Needs Committee for
Wow.
the JCR. Yes, so
I was a JCR president a long time ago in Bethlehem, but I do not recall that we had committees for special needs. All right, we represented everybody, but perhaps now hearing this, so there's a committee on the JCR, the Junior Common Room level,
yes,
right?
please.
And
It was-
indeed on the SRC,
yeah, it was actually advocated for
right?
that we need a committee.
And what was your position again?
I was the first deputy for the committee.
Joy 99.7
Can I call you
FM.
honorable? And you
She
say you
is.
say it so quietly. So you finished that course. So you finished that.
Yes.
Okay. What are
please.
you doing currently?
Currently, I'm with AgroCanes as part of the telemarketing team, where I specifically work as a data clerk, communicate between
Joy
customers and
99.7 FM.
the company. Yes.
So
I must also say
Right.
I'm computer literate. Yes.
Right.
If someone may be wondering how,
mhm.
yes, I have a certificate of that. I've completed a computer
Joy
course as well
99.7
at
FM.
Adabraka.
Please,
Yes.
I would advise that if you keep on rolling out these achievements, your employers will not be able to hold on to you, right? But this is amazing. Several years back, my brother Alex Williams, yeah. Oh, he went to university in the U.S. I think Syracuse and all that, and he led the associations for a long time, right? So way back. I can't remember how long back. Very way back. They were using computers, and then of course the softwares and the social media came in. So you're fully competent on all of these.
Yes, please.
Wow.
But I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
Yes, please.
All right. Can I squeeze in and ask how old you are?
Yes, of course. I'm 26.
You are 26.
Yes, please.
Eesh. And you're doing all these things. With more ahead. Folks, if you just joined us, 40 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living with me, Nortey by nature. We're looking at, disability as we approach December 3rd, which is the International Day of Persons with Disability. We're creating awareness. We're looking at opportunities, achievements, and of course, things we need to do to smoothen the path for full, integrated, mainstreamed inclusion of persons with disability. How do they go about education? How do they get jobs? Is it that they can't work, or we are preventing them from working, right? But if they are able and capable of working, then what are the things we should be doing to make sure that, like you and I, they can enter the job market, they can do anything you can do, right? That's the purpose of this discussion. Let me activate the phone lines. 0302 216541. We are also live on X, formerly Twitter, as Ziggy says I should say Twitter, right? At Joy FM, Joy 99.7 FM, 99.7 FM. So you can watch the program there live as well on Ziggy. How do I say Twitter? Which used to be Twitter, but now it's X. But there's no slang on X, or it's just X. Okay, right. Okay, so my phone line is active 030-221-6541. You can speak to Princess or Dr. Peter Nda, head of OT or occupational therapy at the University of Ghana, and also the acting director for the Center for Disability Studies and Advocacy. Now, listening to Princess, there seems to be a lot that must have enabled her. Okay, I'm sure we can scream about challenges, but how easy is it to be a student with special needs at the University of Ghana. All right. I guess I should probably have asked you the same thing about Ekropong and Ukwapiman, right? But I have a caller. All right. Let me take a caller and come back to Princess. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nortey.
Yes. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking to?
You are speaking to Bishop, calling from Asante Mampong.
Bishop from Asante Mampong. Please go ahead.
Yes, please. Nortey, I think this education is timely, and we should educate people and do more advocacy.
Right, Bishop.
More of our people. I'm also visually impaired.
Oh, I see. You've never shared with us.
Yes. I'm visually impaired. I've shared on the morning show many times with Kojoyansi and Co.
Okay.
I'm also visually impaired. I also completed UCC.
That's good.
Like
Great.
The last graduation, I was the first visually impaired to graduate with PhD in UCC.
Wow.
Yes, guidance and counseling.
Great
Yes,
stuff.
It is not easy. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, I happen to be adventitiously blind. That I was about 32 years old when I had an accident, motor accident, and lost my sight. But the same school for the blind, that's where I went for my rehabilitation.
Right.
And then, yes, learn the braille, use that one to go to training college. Then from training college, I taught for 2 years, went for my first degree. After that, went for master's and then the PhD. Eventually. Yes, well, there are lots of people in the house who are hiding their children. Okay, let me put it that way.
Right.
They are hiding their children. They have this disability, but they don't. Some of them are not aware of the opportunities that they can give to these children to come up.
Okay.
So I think the disability day in the church is more of this advocacy should be done. And Princess, more grease your elbow. I hope you will not stop at the third degree level.
Okay.
You will continue your education, and then God will be your helper. And
Thank
the
you.
sky, and if you're above the sky, will be your limit.
Thank you very much, Bishop.
Continue.
Right, Bishop from Mampong sharing with us. Now that he shares that, I recall that he has been on the morning show. Right, I've also had on Ultimate Health with me in the past Peter Anomakodie. He's a news reader. He was with ETV then. Right, he reads the news. Right, I know. What's this chap? He's with TV3. He has a very distinct stutter, but he's a news reader and a reporter as well. I remember his name. Okay. He's traveling with either the NDC or the MPP candidate. I remember his name in a second. Right, I have another caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Please try and call us again. 030-221-6541. Ultimate Health on Joy. So, Princess, you heard Bishop. He's done it all the way up to PhD. I remember Alima. Oh, I've forgotten her name now. She went to an international organization in Kenya. Right? These are people I've hosted in this studio many years ago. So we're talking about the opportunities available. And Bishop shares with us that many families are hiding, should I say, persons, relatives, significant others living with disability out of ignorance. What do the two of you have to say to that?
Yeah, Princess, can I just make a line? You know, it's from what we are here today. I see disability as part of being human.
Right.
You know, if you ask me, this is what I'll say. To see disability of part of being human, and it's integral. You know, it's integral to the human experience.
Right.
And this is, I would say, this is a result from interaction between health conditions and our environment.
Right.
You know, so if these things, our environment is put right, because definitely there will be some of these conditions.
Right.
If our environment is put right, we will realize that this sort of discrimination and can't do this and can't do that will be out of the system.
Okay, with permission, let me just quickly take a caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Nortey.
Yes, is this Otui?
Oti Water from Tema.
Right, share with us.
I'm really happy that they have gone to the top university. I'm really happy because that is how life might be. If anyone have this employment, anything like that, It's not regretted. You should let the person go forward, no matter the level the person must go. Can become a vice president, a minister, any public official. So we should respect them, not because the person has this issue. We how we talk with the person. No, we should stop that. We should cherish what they are. And I pray that they have a good. They should find a good love. The husband or wife to marry them, and have a lovely family. So they'll feel happy. So anyone who is like that, not feel regretted or people don't like. No. We should cherish them what they are.
Right.
And embrace them. God bless you. God bless you. God bless their way. God bless you. Hosting them.
Thank you, Oti in Tema, sharing that with us. Hayford in Bato said, I thank God Almighty that there is a day to remember we disabled persons. I'm also one of them, but it is my right foot, I believe, from Hayford in Bato. Hayford, thanks for sharing with us. You can also share on WhatsApp 051 1111997. Right? I got others. This is from Dede in Maryland. She says, dogs disability types listings. It appears, it's gone again. It appears that any and everyone has some form of disability, no exceptions. Yes, Dede, if you look on the global website, even WHO, right? And indeed, it does say each of us has a potential at any time in our lives of experiencing or being affected by some form of disability. Yeah, so you're quite right. It is quite staggering when you consider it that way. That is why we need to fine-tune the environment and all the social and other impediments in the way of persons living with disability. Not a visually, said visually. Bishop is a visually impaired scholar. He is the first, he just shared that with us, who attained his PhD in UCC. He has really been an inspiration to all. We were colleagues before his sad encounter, which caused his vision loss. This is from Vincent Asigri in Navrongo. Thank you so much for sharing, Vincent. And Bishop was pronto on our lines and spoke to us as well. Okay. This one says, maybe the name of the school should be changed to the School for the Visually Impaired instead of the School for the Blind. I think the name School for the Blind is too harsh. Michael from Odumasi Krobo. Right. This is one of the reasons why I said I'll be going through some terminologies with Doc alongside. Okay. Many things are being done to change terminology in positive ways. I have another caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah. Afternoon, I'm Elliot calling from Navrongo.
Elliot from Navrongo.
From Navrongo.
Right, please share with us.
I really want to congratulate you for this program, congratulate you on this stupendous event. We have to always bear in mind that 85% of disabilities actually occur in the course of one's life. 85, which then means that everybody is a candidate.
Exactly.
Everybody is a candidate for disability. But the attitude of society, I believe, will have to change.
Right.
We have to change.
Okay.
We have to be seen as co-equals.
Yep.
Not as burdens.
Mm-hmm.
Not as burdens. There are certain things that should be done for us, not because we have to demand, but because they have to be done. Because life must be made comfortable for everybody.
That's right.
I think that's an inalienable right. Pursuit of happiness, life, and justice. You understand? My sister said she attended the University of Ghana, Legon.
Yep.
And obviously, that is supposed to be an inclusive university, at least on paper. But here in Ghana, we are doing much of we are trying with the physical inclusion, but when it comes to the academic inclusion, we are miles behind.
Okay.
We are miles behind with the academic inclusion. All universities in Ghana, apart from 3 of them, UCC, Legon, and then Winneba, if you are a impaired person, we'll find it very difficult attending any university apart from this to do an undergrad. K University is just trying, but they are still far from reaching the level of unity and the two others. But even with the three, they are doing well with the fiscal inclusion. But when it comes to the academic inclusion, there's a lot to be done.
Right. Okay.
And this is about policy.
Okay.
If I tell you how much it will cost you to get a white kid to navigate the environment, you will be surprised. It will cost nearly 100 cities to get a white kid. And going people is going for 1,300 cities now, a packet 1,300 cities. They are just extremely expensive.
Right.
So at least we need more of these programs.
Okay.
At least bridge the gap.
All right.
Recently, I just returned from a TTL program. In fact, they were able to fund a whole program for teachers with at the senior high school. Teachers who have at the senior high school. They give us ICT training, and then they give each and everyone a laptop. That's some detail. You understand?
Okay. Right.
We need more of this.
Okay.
We need more of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We are grateful for what has been done so far, but we need more.
Right,
Thank you.
most definitely. Right, and that's the reason why we are engaging the two in the studio, Princess herself and then Dr. Enda. Remember, we're also live on X, formerly Twitter, at Joy997 FM, and you can watch the program live there. We're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. Time is fast spent, but Doc, yeah, there's a lot we have to engage both of you on. I do recall my late friend Tinana Adomensa. She's passed on. Kojo Saka, your mom, right? She was doing a lot of work with an agency that was providing special spectacles. I've forgotten the name, right? Several years back, and then it was attached to non-formal education department as well. I think when Rojo Metalnunu was there, right? Many things have been done, but the last callers have, talked a lot about, the change in attitude, especially policy-wise. I know we've passed laws. I know we are a signatory and we have ratified the UN Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities and all that. Okay, we're quite good at doing those ones. But on the ground, let's try and wrap up with what is on the ground. I will definitely promise that next week we should be on air. That should be after the elections, right? We should be on air. In fact, years ago, I had to moderate a session at, was it Micklin Hotel, ahead of one of the elections, where the Ghana Federation for the Disabled hosted all the political parties and candidates, and they had to present what they had for persons living with disability. But what's on the ground? What's it looking like now? There are lots of things we haven't spoken about, the classifications, the interventions and all that, but what's on the ground now?
Yes, like you said.
How would you rate inclusion, for example? Though inclusion is a broad term. The last caller spoke a lot about academic inclusion, opportunities for education and training.
Very interesting. And we have lovely policies there now. And to tell you, recently we did a bit of work on inclusive education.
Right.
Small work at somewhere in Dodowa, but that was not in tertiary. It was for the primary schools and this. And we went through actually the policies with them, and you realize that if you go into the policy, the write-up looks fantastic.
Right.
And what everybody was saying was that, yes, we have nice things written down, but it is not happening.
And we're not putting the money there either.
Yes, that's one thing. And the other thing too is, do the people understand these policies? This is what we actually need to break it down for the people to know what is actually in the policy, because each and everyone, right from the mother who gave birth to the child through to the school, to the teacher, to the community, and everybody's got a role to play in there. And if we all actually play our role, then we can hold on people who are responsible at the at the top level.
Right.
So there are a lot of policies.
A lot of things we need to discuss.
And if we talk about even this school, and that is why Legon has now upgraded. It used to be an office for students with special needs.
Right.
But now it is CETSA, that's Center for
Disability Studies and Advocacy.
So we're going to do a lot into things to do with disability, find out what we can do researches and find out how we can make this education things that these scholars call, because it is working well at some places. So how can we also make it with this? And we can't just do without researchers and so this is why
there's work going on.
But
we need to give more space, and visibility.
That's right.
To this whole advocacy and this whole policy push. Let me ask Princess. Angela Kunaki says, please tell Princess that we are also proud of her as far as inclusivity and accessibility initiatives are concerned. Is the name familiar to you, Angela?
Of course.
Oh, who is she?
She's my friend and younger sister.
She's your friend?
She is currently at the University of Ghana.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. She also has special needs?
Yes, she's a special need. She's reading political science. She's also a person with visual impairment.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So as a vice president leading that group, I'm sure from the statistics I read or shared that those with visual impairments are the more common challenge. What other disabilities are covered or are represented there in your group?
I would say all forms of disability.
Right.
We have the hearing impaired at the University of Ghana.
Okay.
And I must commend University of Ghana for their efforts, even though it's not at the zenith yet.
Okay.
But I think they are doing well. We have sign language interpreters that aid these students with hearing impairment to also go through the university education system successfully. Recently, we had a lawyer, a first ever Ghanaian lawyer with hearing impaired. I think the name, Mr. Juventus.
Yes.
He was a past student of the University of Ghana. He completed the University School of Law, University of Ghana School of Law.
So you see why I chose Ife's song Best in Me. Right? We'll play it when we're done. So we've got a lot of people who we need to celebrate and who need to be used as a template for more efforts further afield, across board, not just these select institutions, right? So you attest to what is being done and what is achievable as well. Okay, but the caller also said something, and I'm looking at you. He said, "Dude, people should be able to marry and do this and that and that and that and that." Are you facing barriers in that regard?
Thankfully, no. I currently have a fiancé, which we are looking forward to get married soon. Yes,
you never told me that.
Oh, I met him outside. This is my way of gossiping. This is digital gossiping. So you have a fiancé?
Yes, please.
Right. Do you mind sharing his name?
No.
Okay.
I want to keep him unanimous for now.
Hey, chai. Please, those of you heard me say I've met him, please, haven't. Okay, but I just wanted to share that. So she's living a full life despite her visual impairment. Princess, what do you say about the gentleman? Somebody said, look, the name of the school should be changed. It sounds a bit harsh. Does it matter? Does it worry you?
Of course, yes. I have thought of it several times and I've advocated for it.
All right. Move the microphone closer to you. Just closer. That's right.
Is it better?
Yeah, better.
Okay. It sounds so...
Let me ask the question again. Somebody says the name Akropong School for the Blind is too harsh and suggests that we should do something about it. What do you say to that?
I perfectly agree. It sounds so stigmatizing and emotionally traumatizing. For example, when I was at School for the Blind as a student, I wasn't so confident to mention my school's name.
All right.
Because it sounds like, oh really? You are in the blind school, blind people's school.
That's what people say.
Blind.
Yes, blind people. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think visual impairment or visually impaired is more modified, and it brings a sense of as in distinction.
Right.
Yes, that is positive to me.
It's not we versus them, right?
Yes.
You have an impairment.
Yes, impairment.
Right.
But disability,
Just the same as somebody who's short.
blind
They are
is
vertically impaired.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
All right.
So changing the name of the school will be of a best idea, and it's the
Okay.
ideal thing to do.
All right.
Yes.
You know what? I'm glad you said you wanted to keep your boyfriend, right? Because I know listeners watching you, listening to you. I hope there won't be a queue at the entrance of Joy FM. But I'm so inspired by you. What would you say to anybody who is living with a disability of any sort? We've gone over 3 o'clock, but I'm just trying to end on a blessing. What would you say to anybody? You've been through your challenges, and let me also bless your mother, your family, your father, everybody. But what would you say to somebody living with disability?
I'll just encourage them. Be confident. I understand as human as we are, sometimes you get down. Even at this point of my stage in life, at times I get broken. Sometimes the society, the barriers that society creates for us make us feel uncomfortable. You know what? You tend to forget about your disability when everything is accessible, when you are independent, when you are socially, politically, physically, environmentally, and everywhere you feel you are part.
Wow.
You tend to enjoy life, but when all these things, when you face barriers, that is where your disability is highly pronounced, and you feel it so much. But I just want to encourage them that through all this hardship, they should just be resilient. In fact, there is always a silver lining in every dark cloud. And as we always hear, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So they shouldn't give up. Those in school, do your best.
Wow.
Participate in all form of social activity. First, if you don't stigmatize yourself, nobody dares to stigmatize you.
Self-stigma is also a problem.
Yes. So be confident, be your own advocate, fall in love if you feel you want to and you are ready to. And when you get the broken heart, please keep it cool. It's normal.
Okay.
Move on. Try another time, and don't be scared to be in a relationship. We also deserve to have a family. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
If only you are of age. Yes, but first and foremost, prioritize your future. Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
I think that, yes.
Your last word.
Yes.
Yeah.
My last word. We just about to have this election.
The elections, I know.
And I think, and I happen to be with this GFD,
The Federation, Ghana Federation.
and we had some discussions with the EC,
Right.
the EC's office, and
For voting and all that.
we talked about how we can have inclusive voting, so that people can, should I say,
Persons with disability can vote
freely,
smoothly, independently.
Yes,
Right.
without any hassle and thing.
But we've had that since 2004.
Yes, and I'm glad to just say, because I even put these things down, that they are providing. One thing they are providing, that's the tactile ballot jacket.
Yes.
That is also something very. Yeah, we now have these sign language interpreters, and having accessible polling stations also include making people aware of. If I say people, I'm talking about persons with disability, aware of what is going on, because they need to also exercise their independent franchise.
Yes.
And one good thing too is they should allow them to go in with their assistance.
Yeah.
You know, and she says something that also I was very pleased with, that they are prioritized. Like if they have a long queue and other things of that sort, they will be allowed
Yeah.
to.
My
jump
darling,
the
are you
queue.
voting?
I'm actually an observer on 7 December.
You're an observer as well?
Yes, please,
Okay.
at the Dome Cabrera constituency.
Great.
Is there anything you don't do?
Yes, great.
Huh?
So these things should all be taken into consideration,
Right.
and help everyone,
Okay.
being disabled or not,
Yep.
be able to vote freely and independent.
Great stuff.
That's
Right,
great.
7 minutes past the hour of 3. Apologies, my producer, but I just had to do this. Right, it's been an honor having you, Princess and Dr. Inda, in the studio. I promise after the elections, I will be here. Okay, I'm independent of all parties, so my program will continue, and I don't expect Ziggy to kick me out on political grounds. To my listeners, please, let's build bridges and not walls. Many of the challenges they face are man-made, yes.
Man-made,
And some of the, I haven't even talked about cultural practices and many other things. Spirit child, this, that. But hey, we need to look forward. Princess, thank you once again for honoring us. And Mr. Fiance, me, I didn't see you. I didn't say anything. And Dr. Nda, we'll take this up after the elections and look at the policies in place, and then start
would be
exploring
great.
some of the
great.
good things that are happening in educational institutions that allow persons with disability, and then in the workspace as well. There's a lot of work that has been done and is continuing. So we'll be leaning on the Center for Disability Studies and Advocacy to lead our path and shine the light so that we can educate, inform, and transform Ghanaians. Many thanks again to you both.
Thank you, Nortey.
It's a pleasure.
Princess, thank you so much. I'll go out with Best of Me by Efia because you've lighted up that song.
Yeah.
Yeah? Where is